What it do, Modified Family? We're back out here in the garage. GSR projects still in stasis. It's almost ready for the new cams to go in. And all the cam caps all cleared off. I also need to get a free set of cam gears. Several, but they're all attached to the cams. And when the cams are outside of the head assembly, they're even harder to get apart without stripping those bolts. So today we're just gonna do some more cleanup. So I wanna run this project by you guys. So give me 5 on my black hand side, let's go. So here's where we left off. So I'm gonna talk and work. So 99% sure that this motor is ready for a rebuild. As you can see, the heads over there also need a little bit more of a cleanup, even though that was also hot tanked. Mostly just getting off the old gasket material. I'd like not to pull the valves if I did not have to. So today, I'm gonna spend some more time cleaning this bad boy up. I got my trusty oven cleaner. It's one of my favorite things to get in there and clean with. There's just a few spots that needed a little bit more love. And on this oil pump. So I want to put this all together. And I already have several pokers in the fire. That motor's going together. This motor's going together. So I really don't have the time for another project, and especially not the money. Most of the time when it comes to a project, we just open up the kids' college fund and go ham. But cannot do that with this one. So to make it interesting for this build off, what I want to do is I want to only buy parts with money that I get from recycling. I'm a big fan of recycling, have done it since I was a little kid because I never got an allowance. And so the way I would make money was by recycling and taking that recycling in and cashing it in. So I am going to cash in those recycling. I'm going to give you that total, and then I'm going to only order parts when I have that money with that money. And so that's going to be the limiting factor for this build. So I could buy all performance new race stuff, but I got to get that many cans and bottles. Luckily, I collect them at home, I collect them at work, so it should be pretty adventurous. I'm going to give this some time to sink in. I'm going to get the drill with the wire wheel, and I want to clean up the intake side of the head, and then I'll show you that when it's all together. I came up with my brilliant idea to set up my washing machine table where I put this board down so I don't damage the washing machine in a towel, and then it lets me work standing comfortably and not all hunched over. So I'm just going over each side over here. This sensor was not there. This one I had to pull because it was already snapped, and I was just wiping out some of the crevices just to make this nice, using the wire wheel to clean up any stray gasket material. So I'm going to take a razor blade, just a straight one like this, and I'm just going to get under here and get off most of this material. It's definitely a two-handed job. It'll only take a second. Then I'll clean up any residue with the wire wheel, and then I'll just go over each of these sides. This could be kind of fun to watch in time lapse, but probably not going to do that. I really did myself dirty. I'm in the habit of charging the battery after I make each video. I did not do that, so my drill died. I could use a plug-in one, but I don't want to. I'll let that charge when we move over to the block. The best thing about engine parts being out is that you can turn them in every direction and see from every angle. And I just kind of got in here and cleaned this up a little bit better. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not eating off this. I just want it to look nicer, and I'm not going to paint it. It looks like it might have been painted. I can't really tell, but it's clean enough. I noticed that this one was broken and this one needs to come out. I'm sure I have extras lying around to replace those with. Not sure how to get this out exactly. I always mess it up, so I'm gonna get help, and I will get these valves out. It's dark in that hole. But you can see down here the corrosion, the combustion chambers do not look bad after the hot tanking, but the valves could use some love. So I'll get these out. These will go in acid as soon as I get the right tool for that. So let's go check out the block. So things cleaned up pretty nice. I'm doing a lot of work in places that people would never see. This is behind the transmission, so no one sees any of this stuff, but I still wanted to get it a little bit cleaner just for the fun of it. But I cleaned up this mating surface where the rear main seal goes. I cleaned up the back real well. The spots that are still kind of dirty are just like in this lower quadrant, you know, so, but I got in there, but I would like to do just a little bit more. I don't know if doing it by hand has been very effective. I think next time that we hot tank, I think I definitely will hot tank just this part again because the head looks great and everything else looks great. But next time we hot tank something like a block,
I will put it in there for like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm gonna scrub it and then put it back in there to let it finish, just loosening things up. And I'm gonna cut away and switch to the other side so you can check that out, and then we'll finish up the head. Perfect. So this is the front. I think I also would like to paint this. That's why I'm so keen on getting this clean, as well as when you get all this grime from years of neglect off this bad boy, then if there's any leaks or any problems, it's going to be very apparent where they're coming from. It's not going to be like, it's just a greasy engine. We'll definitely know. And the inside still looks good. Cylinders will get honed as like the very last step before this goes back together. I need to find something to soak the pistons in to get them back articulating. I'll pull them out to show you. And then I've been keeping these dry, and I'm going to sit this dip back onto the towel on the floor, and I'm going to re-oil these with WD-40 just because they're not perfect, but I don't want them to get more rusty than they are right now. Also, side note, I thought I had to order a new one of these as I was making a list. I'm like, it didn't come with this. Obviously, this is like one of the first things I took off when I was taking the motor out, so luckily I do not need to order one. All right, so here's the final, just cleaning this up, making sure all these mating surfaces are clean. These all look good. None of them are broken, like on the exhaust side. So I'm really happy about this. That side's clean. That side's as clean as it needs to be. Inside looks good. There's barely anything on here. I already put the battery back on the charger. It wasn't low, but I want to make sure it's perfectly gassed up with juice for next time. So I need to get the, well, yeah, these ones definitely look different. So I need to get the tool that allows me to remove these. I've watched my housemate Zero do it a bunch of times, so I feel confident that I can get these ones out. Actually looks like there's more space on these ones than on the VTEC ones, so hopefully these come out pretty easy. And then let's flip this up onto the exhaust side. Same thing, just clean over here. Well, I hope that wasn't too boring. I didn't want to subject you guys to sitting there and watching me just hit things with a wire wheel or scrub them with a toothbrush. It's not fun to see, but the results are nice. So I'm going to probably blast this with a little bit more WD-40, keep everything in there loose and lubed up and clean. And then I'm going to put the valve cover on top to keep the dust out. All right, family, until next time, peace.